Now, a new witness is expected to testify today at the Madlanga Commission in Pretoria about the arrest of murder-accused and alleged criminal cartel member Katiso Molefe. Molefe was arrested in December 2024 at his Sandhurst home in Johannesburg during a search and seizure operation. Now, this is for the murder of QTech employee Armanda Swart. The weapon used to assassinate Swart has been linked to other murders. Now, yesterday, a senior forensic ballistic analyst told the Madlanga Commission that several factors can influence the inability to retrieve a serial number of a firearm, including omission. And this comes as the probe into allegations of criminality, political interference and corruption in the criminal justice system continues to test the allegation that Captain Itumeleng Molefe of the Pretoria lab allegedly omitted information from the ballistics report in the murder of Armanda Swart. And those hearings, of course, continue today. But we crossed out to SABC News reporter Kenny Mapanga to give us more on this particular story. Kenny, good morning. And of course, we saw again yesterday, this is rather technical but very important, and also interesting how the ballistics is linking several cases that perhaps nobody would have thought were in any way linked previously.
Indeed. Good morning to you, Sakina, and to the viewers at home. Well, certainly there's a lot of questions for the Captain Molefe of the Pretoria lab, who would have conducted that initial analysis that had quite a number of discrepancies in it, which witness A and B allege were deliberate in an attempt to derail the investigation into the murder of Armanda Swart, that not only linked the firearms and exhibits to various other crime scenes, but it also implicated alleged cartel member Katiso Molefe. Now, we're hearing from the senior forensic ballistic analysts that were roped in to do their comparative analysis based on the test cartridges that they were provided with in those packages. They were able to make significant findings that the initial reports couldn't. Now, we're hearing that Captain Molefe's report had, there was an initial report that had discrepancies, and then there was another report that he issued to correct that, but it was in the form of a backdated report. So the question remains was Captain Molefe trying to conceal that there was information that was allegedly omitted from the initial reports by backdating it? Because we're hearing from Captain Kacha at least that when he made that backdated report, it should have instead been a supplementary affidavit in addition to the initial ballistics report explaining what the corrections or the errors were. But it seems from the analysts, the senior forensic analyst that appeared yesterday, that is Captain Molefe and Captain Kacha, that within a day they were able to find significant information through the use of these firearms and these test cartridges that linked the AK-47 to the murder of DJ Somebody, DJ Fintos and Don Tindlane. And we're hearing that Molefe was able to do that in less than 24 hours. And then, of course, we're seeing that there were findings regarding those test cartridges. However, in the initial ballistics report, it wasn't there. So the big question before the Madlanga Commission, which I think Captain Molefe has to answer himself, is was this a case of a simple human error, or was this a deliberate attempt to omit information, not only to safeguard the persons it would have implicated, because that particular firearm or one of the firearms found in the Mercedes-Benz Viano would have been linked to former cop Michael Puletau, or was this a genuine error or a omission? So we are expecting several more witnesses to come forward today. However, we'll be moving away from that ballistics evidence, and now it's about that dramatic takedown of the arrest of Katiso Molefe. All that and more in the next hour. Over to you in studio.
And interesting there, Kenny, because it speaks to what the evidence leader, Matthew Chaskelson, was actually speaking to Brigadier Mkabela about, when and how dates could be changed. That was on Monday, and this now makes perfect sense in terms of where that line of questioning was going. All right, we'll get back to Kenny in the next hour regarding the Madlanga Commission and what's happening there. And don't forget SABC Plus. If you haven't yet downloaded it, please do so. You can catch all of these proceedings live.